Hello my friends, you're probably watching this video somewhere on Labor Day weekend of 2019. Our dojo is closed Saturday and Monday for a small, short break, and I was thinking about the origins of Labor Day and what that meant, because as a child it was always about back to school. It was a sad time. It was the end of summer. You had to go back to school. All those long, endless summer days as a kid ended. For some people in retail, it's a big sale weekend, so that's what they associate it with. But I never really understood what Labor Day meant until I researched it a little bit, and it was very interesting. You know, in America, we sometimes pride ourselves on how much we work, how many hours we put in, and we can often joke with our friends, oh, did you only work 40 hours? Well, I worked 60 hours this week, and things like that, and it was a sense of pride. Back in the 1800s, people worked far longer than we do on the average. Some worked in factories as many as 70, 80 hours a week. And then some unions put together Labor Day, which was a celebration of the American worker and all that we do to keep the country running. So in the 1800s, they were working way more hours than we do on the average with a 40-hour work week now. They worked 70 hours, then it was down to 60 hours, and finally they brought it to 50 or even 40-hour work weeks. And when you think about that, we complain when we work 40 hours, right? We have this guilt that we're not spending enough time with our family and our friends and personal time, and that's a very it's a very real complaint, and one that I'm close to as well. So when we get a little time off, it is definitely enjoyed. So Labor Day was about a celebration of the worker and how much we all, you and I both, contribute to society. In my opinion, there's no such thing as one job better than the other. I never liked the phrase, go get a real job, for those people who worked part-time or were in retail or something like that. A job is a job, and my hat is off to anyone out there who is employed outside of the home, and many of you are working inside of the home. If you are a father or a mother raising children, the most noble job of all is inside the house, so my hat is off to you. You have the hardest job of all, to try to create and mold a human being and do your best to raise children is so noble, and I think it should be in many ways a paid position. But that's another talk. But those of you who work outside the home, the labor union in general, all of us, it's a good time to reflect on how our job, no matter what it is serving other people. It is serving the world. Me as a teacher, I'm teaching and helping out youth and adults and myself and everybody. I'm running a small business in Ohio, and there are thousands of people just like me, millions perhaps. But if you work for a large company, don't ever think that your work is unnoticed. It is. You are basically the foundation of that company. The workforce is what makes this country so unbelievably successful and powerful. In this time, I try to pay attention even more to those who I meet out there in the workforce, and I try to treat them with great respect. I don't want to ever down-talk the person at the McDonald's drive-thru or the person wherever they work. I want to make sure that I honor them for their job because they serve me as I serve them. We all serve each other. We're part of one community. We're one group. We're the human race. And no job is more menial than the other. All are important. So Labor Day is a celebration of work. It's a celebration that we get to work. It is a privilege to work and to draw an income from the economy. It really is. Some countries don't have that privilege. And here in America, we have even more privilege where we can go out and make more money. So I can have 2 or 3 jobs. I'm not limited. Or I can work part-time raking leaves or shoveling snow or something, or whatever it might be, landscaping for some extra cash. It's endless if you have a creative mind, what you can come up with to create money if you need that. However, we know that money is not too important in life. You need it. It's a tool. It's a neutral tool. It's not good nor evil. It's neutral, but we need it to survive. That's what we barter with. That's what we get goods and food and services with. So there's so much to think about on Labor Day weekend. Now, having said that, I work too much. I put in sometimes 10, 12 hours a day, and that's too much. And we have to be careful of how much we're working. So those of you out there watching this that work too much and you only have one day a week off, or you find that you're straining with your family and there are difficulties and you feel guilt and stress because you don't feel like you have enough time with your spouse or your children. I've been through that myself many times. I've had many girlfriends over the years, more than most people. And I've never been married. I could have been twice. But because I was working so much, I was a true workaholic. I was obsessed with training and traveling and the dojo, and my relationships were far in the back. They were second. We go out and enjoy each other's company on the weekend, but the women that I particularly dated did not want to be part of the dojo or my life in that way. How cool would it be to have a wife or a husband or someone that could support you in your school or your dojo and take on that burden of running the business and help you teach? What a team that would make. And I have a few friends that are lucky enough to have that. I never did. So my relationships suffered and ended, most of them, because of that. And very selfish on my part. I could have worked less and focused more on the relationship, and perhaps that would have worked out. But it didn't, and I don't regret it. I have dedicated my life to the warrior arts, so other things had to suffer naturally. It's very hard to work and balance a life in general, but to balance work when you work 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and then you're a musician on top of it, which I am, and then I can spend another 8 hours a day in the studio if I wish. It's a very selfish life in many ways, although I'm serving. My job is to serve. As a teacher, I serve the community, and I do a lot of good, but myself, speaking to you, I have suffered much in my personal life because of that. And you are the same. I'm sure you feel the same. If you're working 60, 70 hours a week, you're like, gosh, I need to spend more time with my family. I'm neglecting my family. You know what I mean? I'm putting my needs before my family's needs just to make money. We, as Americans, sometimes can be too focused on material goods and how much money we make. It's a sense of pride when it shouldn't be. It's a sense of arrogance, in my opinion. And you can have the most money in the world. It's not going to make you happier. Sure, it will help with certain issues financially, but financial issues are only a certain percentage of life. Which reminds me, I want to read you something that I've seen many times. They say it was written by Steve Jobs, who had issues of his own, but under some research, I don't know if these were his final words. They say that his final actual words were, oh wow, on his deathbed. He died of, I think, pancreatic cancer. But nevertheless, the sentiment is the same. I want to read you something, and here it is. Whoever wrote this writes, I reached the pinnacle of success in the business world. In others' eyes, my life is an epitome of success. However, aside from work, I have little joy. In the end, wealth is only a fact of life that I am accustomed to. At this moment, lying on the sickbed and recalling my whole life, I realize all the recognition and wealth that I took so much pride in have paled and become meaningless in the face of impending death. In the darkness, I look at the green lights from the life-supporting machines and hear the humming mechanical sounds. I can feel the breath of the gods of death drawing closer. Now I know, when we have accumulated sufficient wealth to last our lifetime, we should pursue other matters that are unrelated to wealth. It should be something that is more important. Perhaps relationships, perhaps art, perhaps a dream from younger days. Non-stop pursuing of wealth will only turn a person into a twisted being, just like me. Love can travel 1,000 miles. Love has no limit. Go where you want to go. Reach the height that you want to reach. It is all in your heart and in your hands. Whichever stage in life we are in right now, with time, we will face the day when the curtain comes down. Treasure love for your family, love for your spouse, love for your friends. Treat yourself well. Cherish others. Beautiful. On this Labor Day weekend, we celebrate. If you have a few days off, wonderful. If you're going back to school, celebrate education and the fact that we can attain it. If we have a few days off, think about the seasons changing and how life is so short and how we need to celebrate and balance work with relationships, work with children. It's more important to have less money and to be happy. Being happy is not about money. We know that. Working 80 hours a week might put some more money in your bank account, but that's not what life is about. Sure, cover our debts, pay our bills, be honorable, get out of debt. Wonderful sentiments, all. But don't forget to spend time with your friends and family. In the end, how much money we have is meaningless. My friend from the FedEx company just came in and delivered a package, and he was just telling me, I said, Happy Labor Day to you. And he says, oh, we have to work now on Labor Day. Amazon is making us work. So, isn't that interesting, just talking about it? And of course, I thanked him for his service. I said, thank you for what you do. Delivering is very hard. And you're delivering stuff to people, that we really don't need, most of us. But now he has to work on Labor Day. So this old holiday, this old celebration of the American workforce it's a two-sided double sword. It can cut both ways. So again, I so appreciate those who will have to work on Monday. You have to. Many of us have to work. It's part of the chain of life. You can't shut the economy down. So many people, I'm going to really be cautious with thanking on Monday if I happen to go out of the house and go to the store or something, and I'm going to really make an effort to appreciate those who are working on the holiday. And if they complain that they're working, that's fine. I'll listen. I'll listen to what they have to say because, gosh, I so appreciate the American workforce and workforce in general, wherever you live in the world. Such a privilege to be able to work outside the home and inside the home. So thank you, my friends. We'll see you next week for more training at the dojo. And if, for now, when you go back to work, maybe don't hate it as much. If some of you out there who are fortunate enough to love your work as I do, take a moment to just think about it and think about all those who used to work 70, 80 hours a week and how good we really have it. So until next time, my friends, you have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy time with your family, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.